it is tradition that a logo is created for every mission. The Clementine logo is one big mystery. I found several versions of the mission logo. Some are heavily compressed, but there is one thing they all have in common. Look at the very tiny sketch in the yellow and red circle. The same tiny sketch on all mission logo, except one, where the object looks blurred and the shape is different. The Clementine mission logo, created by the Ballistic Missile Defense Organization, the Naval Research Laboratory, and the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, is very different. But why would someone change the first official logo? When we look at the many differences, it becomes clear that they must have a very good reason for a different logo. Features have been changed, from male to feminine. We see that the firm hand of a man is now a more gentle grip, and the robe on the left picture, changed into a woman's dress on the right, where they also added a necklace, and a pickaxe. Conclusion: a stately-looking man, the god Apollo, was changed into a young woman, Clementine, the coal mine. Apollo? Yes, Apollo. Compare the person on the logo, with the statue of Apollo, and the face, mirrored, found on the Apollo 17 mission patch. Was this originally an Apollo mission, changed by the Department of Defense into Clementine? The first mission logo was a complete drawing, but not this one. When we look at the moon's surface, and compare it with the rest of the logo, we see a totally different pattern. In my view, this logo consists of two parts, namely a drawing and possibly a piece cut from a photo, because of the clearly visible compression artifacts. The shield held by Clementine shows three four-sided diamonds, but we neither find the shape in the logo of the BMDO, nor in the logo of the Strategic Defense Initiative Organization. What does that mean? Is this another cryptographic message? In modal logic, these diamonds express that there is possibility, and in military terms the diamonds stand for camouflage. Was the Clementine mission a false flag operation? The flag on the moon looks fake, as it does not show the actual numbers of red and white stripes. There should be 7 red stripes, and 6 white ones, but we see 5 of both of them. On this logo. 1. The crescent moon is symbolic for new beginnings, and the making of dreams into reality. 2. The official reading of the number 9, written on asteroid geographos, is that it refers to the size of her shoes, as in the lyrics, and her shoes were number 9. The number 9 represents something totally different, and what it is I will show you later in this presentation. 3. The famous vector symbol indicates a direction of travel, and here it means that something landed on the moon. 4. The fake shadow underneath the flag is the geographical location of Schrödinger crater. 5. The shield held behind the moon could mean that the moon is protected by or Earth is protected from. With number 6 we see a rather detailed but mysterious object, in what appears to be the Zeeman crater, and this primarily is the reason for Project Golden Dragon. Finally, with number 7 we see a weird object in the center, and in my view this either represents the lunar South Pole, or this is a map of the Aitken Basin. The sketches drawn onto the moon's surface can be made better visible when we increase contrast and reduce gamma levels. Once we have colored in borders, we see 3 very distinct shapes, and these are unlike craters and lunar seas, which are shown as dots and stripes. I have showed you a logo drawn prior launch of the Clementine, and this logo shows lots of weird symbolism. Is someone, cryptographically, telling us that there is something on the dark side of the moon? Why else would anyone draw this? Was it because they had seen an object like this in the Zeeman crater long before the Clementine mission begun? I showed this image to an American professor and asked for his opinion. This is his response.
The shape of the strange area is fully compatible with a missing data block. To me, having worked with similar data, it looks like they ran a fairly advanced algorithm to interpolate the missing data block, but these advanced algorithms can sometimes introduce artifacts that look like artificial structures. I can certainly recognize some of these effects right in that image.
Now that is really interesting, as what this astronomer and most people do not know, or perhaps tend to forget, is that this image is not a photo but a composition. This is an official quote by the NRL. The ultraviolet and visual camera, with 5 filters, and the near-infrared camera with 6 filters, will each collect overlapping images. Each filter is used along the satellite's ground track, such that complete mapping of the lunar surface, for each of the filters of each camera, will be accomplished during the mapping operation. The high-resolution camera will make a continuous string of overlapping images. Between the 19th of February and the 22nd of April 1994, Clementine made an unknown number of film strips of the Moon. Every 5 hours, one revolution around the Moon, some 6,000 images were received at the DSPSC Mission Operations Center, which was operated by the NRL. Imagery experts had only 15 minutes to both examine and censor images before they made them accessible to scientists. There was no time for complicated obfuscations, so they used a basic technique which proved to be very successful. At the longitude and latitude of the Zeeman crater, a single scan by Clementine had a width of 5 kilometers and a height of 2 kilometers. This image is put together from 7,590 images, and the size of the object is approximately 98 images. We know that Clementine needed 5 hours for one revolution, and one revolution means one continuous film strip of 6,000 images. The Zeeman smudge is one data block of 12 film strips, and this means 12 times 5 hours equals 60 hours. So Clementine had data transmission problems during a period of 60 hours. At one specific location where 12 film strips showed 12 missing data blocks. Okay, it is not impossible, but I consider that highly unlikely. On the 13th of February 2010, the Clementine browser version 1.5 was replaced by version 2.0, and all previously reported lunar anomalies had been removed. The NRL claims that with version 2.0 the quality of the images dramatically improved. When we compare both versions, we indeed see a difference in quality, but that has nothing to do with a higher browser version. Look at the shadows in the crater, which are different, because other film strips were used. The Zeeman anomaly did not disappear because of a better algorithm, but because they replaced images. The Moon map in Clementine browser version 1.5 consisted of 170,000 images, but the number of film strips used to make this map is unknown. Until this date no one can tell for sure how many images Clementine produced. I have found 5 websites with each their own official number of images. Let us take a closer look at these sites. The first one is the Naval Research Laboratory. On this website Clementine's captured 1.8 million images, but what do we see on SputusLunarResources.com? Now that is interesting. Where the NRL mentions 1.8 million images, the civil website tells us that Clementine returned over 2.5 million images. That is a difference of 700,000 images. Did they make a mistake? Let us take a look at website number 3, named Applied Coherent Technologies, a civil company responsible for Clementine's moon mapping. The website of ACT also mentions a different figure, namely a data volume of 2 million images. Now we already have 3 websites which do not match, but it gets better. This is the website of the United States Department of Defense, and there we see a much lower figure. According to the United States military, Clementine recorded approximately 1.5 million images. Finally, we pay a visit to the Missile Defense Agency, successor of the Strategic Defense Initiative Organization, who is the successor of the Ballistic Missile Defense Organization, who is the initiator of the Clementine mission. What figure do we see here? 1.5 million images. When we do a quick calculation, we see something interesting. There is a maximum deviation of 1 million images between non-military and military organizations. What was so important that a million or more images never have been made accessible to the general public?